Yo, what is up, guys? Steve here with Scotch and Things. Just leaving the house again. Been running errands all morning. Now I'm going. It's a whopping 20 degrees. I'm heading over to change batteries in one of the work trucks, which is always a good time, especially when it's 20 degrees. In diesels, there's two batteries, and God, it takes a while. The passenger or the driver's side one's pretty easy. Nothing, the passenger one, it's got an extra terminal and 4 or 5 other wires. I can't remember that you gotta disconnect, and there's a freaking beam in the way because like the driver's side is up front, and then the passenger one is tucked back up against the firewall, and it's a major hassle. So yeah, cold weather always makes that fun because we're getting ready to the batteries are, it's getting to the point where in the cold weather we're having to jump the truck a lot. So we're heading back out to work tomorrow, and don't want to deal with that anymore. So time to change the batteries, get that done. It's going to be in the mid 40s the rest of the week. We'll come home Friday because then it's going to be negative and down in the teens again. So there's that. Always fun this time of year. You're just kind of working around the weather, and we're already behind. We're just going to go out and try and get the roof done since we were short that peak ring. So now we gotta, really, it's like we went out there to do nothing the first time. Oh, what else? What do I got? I got the Medford TFF4 in my pocket today. It's tucked in there. You got to get a step ladder because these trucks are so tall. It's hard, they hit you chest high and you're trying to work over, so it just makes it easier off a step ladder. What else? This is Knife Thoughts again with episode 4. I think we'll do a Knife Thoughts. ZT, man, I woke up this morning and ZT and Kershaw had a bunch of new launches. And that's cool. Like I said, I don't think I'm really a ZT buyer anymore. I just think I've kind of moved past them. They're that ZT, I think for a lot of people in the knife community, not everybody, especially more so nowadays, I think, but back in the day when ZT was ZT, right? ZT was that entry, that gateway entry into pocket knives, right? American made, overbuilt, I say this all the first time I spent over $100 was on a ZT, and then they just kind of fell off. Like over the last 6 years, they've just kind of put nothing out really. What was it, 5 years ago? Maybe 5 years ago is when would they come out with 3? I can't remember the numbers on them. I'm not even gonna try and think about that right now. But I think they did I remember they came out with 3 knives. 357, I think, was one. I can't remember. Anyway, my buddy had bought one. There was that one with the flying buttress kind of stuck out like this, and that's what the blade would lock into. But then it was just kind of sporadically a knife here or a knife there. I remember, God, years ago, I bought the 777, I think it was. It was just skinny, and they've really kind of, ZT is, they've come out with the 308. That was a big chunky boy. But even now, I heard, is the 308 getting discontinued? I think ZT kind of lost their way, and people bagged on them. And they started coming out with more EDC friendly knives, which is great if that's what they're seeing, right? They're seeing the numbers of what's selling and this and that. But now, they've come out with some more smaller knives. I got one last year. I can't remember, what was it, the 454? It was a cool knife and everything. Small again, just not my style. And then the pocket clips they're putting on these knives, it's a really small pocket clip, and I really don't like it. I don't think it works well at all, but that's just me. But hey, they had a new announcement today. And like I said, a couple months ago, 6 months ago, I can't remember now, they released a fixed blade and an automatic knife. All right, cool. A couple years ago, they did a big fixed blade in 3V that people were excited for, and it looked cool. But today they launched I thought it was another fixed blade just looking at pictures, but it's a folder. Bigger knife, looked cool, but it's an automatic, really not my style anymore. And then a button lock. Cool. All right. Hey, at least they're doing stuff, right? At least they're not dead. At least they're catering, and for really still along those lines, right? For new knife people in that getting into those higher end knives, you kind of go through that journey, right? And I think that's what ZT and Kershaw is for a lot of people. You know, first you get you start off with your first budget knife, and then you go into an assisted knife, right? A spring assisted knife, which ZT and Kershaw have a lot of those, and that was my first ZT, was assisted knife. I wanted that fast opening, cool. And then you kind of graduate from that, and some guys go into, and then you kind of go into an automatic knife, right? I went through that. I had a lot of automatics back in the day because that was cool. But then you kind of hone your tastes, right? You find out, all right, I like liner locks, or I like frame locks, or I like studs or hole opening, or I like flippers, and I don't want it to be automatic. I don't want it to be assisted. I want the pleasure of opening it myself. Button locks, I've got the one Sonora button lock, which is a great knife. So the button lock's not really for me, but I think ZT's repositioned themselves, and if they keep this up, so that's what, 4 new knives in the last calendar year? I know this is 2025, and the last automatic and fixed blade they did was in 2024, but within a calendar year, they've dropped 4 or 5 knives. So hey man, that's pretty impressive. So good on them. Hopefully it helps them out, and it helps rejuvenate the brand. I think it's one of those brands that people have kind of clowned on for a long time now, because we kind of remember back to ZT Built Like a Tank days, right? When they did all the cool collabs, like that Rexford 804, that was a cool knife. I'm glad I had that one for a while. It would be cool if they could go back with these designers and maybe revisit some, and that's above my skill set on how they do these contracts with these guys, but it would be cool if they could revisit something like 804, right? And kind of tune it up for like modern day technology. But be it ZT or Kershaw's always putting out a lot of knives, right? And Kershaw's that great entry way, because you can walk into a Walmart and grab a Kershaw, and then Kershaw offers everything from budget American, budget Chinese made, and then some nicer American made knives, and then they want you to kind of flow into their other brand ZT, and I'm happy. I'm glad ZT. It looks like they're, even though the knives aren't for me, I'm glad as a company it's not going away. I think ZT is one of those kind of benchmark companies in the knife world where, as you get into knives, everybody knows about ZT, and they kind of lost their way for a while. I mean, God, there were, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there were like years where they didn't put out anything new. The 308 I thought was a great knife. I'm surprised it's getting discontinued. If it is, I might be wrong. But hey, maybe the sales aren't there. Maybe ZT's people wanting big knives graduated from ZT, like Dave, and you go into customs and stuff like that, or something else. And so maybe ZT can't sell those. Those big knives aren't doing it for them anymore. So then maybe they got to be more towards the EDC, just the everyday carry, guys going to the office, stuff like that, smaller knives. I wish, like I said, the pocket clip, it's a tiny nitpick, but it's small, it's weird, and it's awkward. I wish they would do something different with that, but again, not for me. I've had 2 other knives with that clip, and it's not for me. So right now I'm not a ZT customer. Maybe in the future I will be again, but I'm glad they're trying. So good for ZT. Good for ZT, and I hope it helps, and it's a way to get more people into the knife world, right? So good on ZT. I know Shane and I talked a couple of times. Wouldn't it be cool, like when ZT was literally doing it, seemed like nothing. Wouldn't it be cool if ZT offered the service, you know, to OEM American-made knives for some of these designers that have to send their stuff overseas? That would be cool, because we all know they make a quality knife. I've got zero, quality-wise, I don't think there's anything wrong with ZT at all. It's just style-wise, they're not for me anymore. So let me know what you guys think down below. What was your first ZT? Did you ever have a ZT? Did you like the bigger ZTs or the smaller ZTs? You know, big knives aren't for everybody, and they kind of built their name on that. And then when they started going away from it, I think that's when they started getting a lot of hate and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. I don't have my stocking cap. I'm going to freeze these batteries in, but I'll hit you guys later. Bye.